meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance, vote of silence. Take your seats, roll call.
Here. Here. Here.
Commissioner Beckwith. Here. Commissioner Blake. Here. Commissioner Roderick.
Here.
President Evans.
Here.
There was an executive session held immediately prior to this meeting to discuss personnel items.
Okay, just under announcements, the annual Halloween parade trunk and shoot will be held on Saturday, October 27th at 11 a.m. That will be here at the township. And also, trick or treat will be held on Wednesday, October 31st from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. throughout Elizabeth Township. Citizens to address agenda items. So there's no agenda items, so we'll do that at the end of the meeting. Go ahead, Patty, come on.
I thought that said item no playground. I was like, I'm sorry.
Patty Hoffman, Dr. Station Road. I wanted to talk about item number 10, which is the playgrounds that we're going to do next year, and then item number 11. Item number 10, I wanted to know if we could know exactly where we're going to be putting these playgrounds and what type of playgrounds we're going to be putting in these two locations. I mean, I was looking at this, and this is an absolutely fantastic amount of an award to get these playgrounds. So I want to know what we're getting for this and where exactly they're going to be on these locations.
Well, the Stony Brook production will be the one that's already there, we'll just upgrade.
We're going to upgrade that, okay?
The line level.
The Blacktop Playground's gonna go right by the pavilion there. Yeah, right to the left of the pavilion.
Parking lot, like, in front of it, to the left.
Yes.
Okay, so that's going to be close to where this water thing is, this water pump station is going to be. So that really causes me concern, but I really want to know what these playgrounds are going to look like too. I don't like the idea that it's going to be so close to where this pump station is being talked about, because I know we've been looking forward to getting this into the Blythedale area, because these kids don't have anything, and it would help the kids in industry and everything else.
She can show you exactly where it's gonna go, when it's gonna be.
Okay, is there a description, like a real quick description that everybody might know that what's gonna be there?
We have a layout, Patty, there's a layout.
Yeah, I mean, I could get, 3D rendered pictures of these, but they're just, like blueprint.
Are they little, like little playgrounds or youth playgrounds, or, I mean, this is a lot of money, and so I'm kind of wondering.
Well, aren't they gonna be similar to the ones we have over in
So the one
Alabama?
the one in Stony Brook is smaller than Highland Meadows, it's gonna fit exactly where the current structure is. The only new thing in Stony Brook is where the old metal slide is, that's gonna be removed, and there's gonna be a solo swing put in for infants, which nobody around here has, so I'm really excited about that. And then at Blithedale, it is, 32 feet by 52 feet. So it's pretty substantial. There's a rock wall, there's 6 different slides, there's walking tumblers, there's musical items. It's really diverse.
So this is gonna be great for the trail people and Blythedale people, and industry, and everybody who are interested.
Yeah, it's exactly what Highland Meadows has. The border of the small gym, the ADA ramp and everything.
Thank you, that's fantastic. Item number 11, state clean diesel rate from the DEP, $38,000 to go to a case wheel loader. What is a case wheel loader? And I mean, that sounds like a great grant, but how much does a case wheel loader cost us? And what is it?
You always want to go out the grant, it's where you got loader, they load the salt, Jake, how old is that machine? 20 years old. We've been having some mechanical difficulties with it, so it's due to get replaced.
Okay.
So, what it costs, we will end up having to pay or finance. This would be is covering.
We're getting a grant for like $38,639, but the total cost of the machine is $115,000.
Wow, so we did good.
Yeah, we did very well.
We did really good,
And the
okay.
machine, we put money to every year, so we're kind of going ahead of the game.
And I'm sure you're excited too.
Yeah, he's been talking like 4:15.
I'm glad I brought it up then. Okay, well, that was really pretty much what I wanted to talk about, other than Fall Fest. No, you can't let me go yet, because I want to talk about Fall Fest, but that's not, all right, that's not on there, so please tell everybody about Fall Fest before you leave tonight, because it's coming up. Thank you.
Sounds good, thank you. Topics for discussion, the food bank trailers. The food bank needs to move location. Central Fire Company is gonna renovate their fire hall. So they did go look at the second property on the second building on Middlestock. They said they would be big enough, so we need to find another location for the food banks. So I don't know what the time frame is on Central. Dave, can you comment down the
We're not like kicking them out.
No, we just gotta go do some work down there, we understand.
Yeah,
So that's not-
yeah, we got a grant to put up a new garage in the back. So, you know, they have time. It's not like it's
Right,
a leisure.
that's what he said, he did say that.
Yeah, but, yeah, that's, I don't think there's really any time limit.
But we just need to work on getting another location. We can look into that.
Is that the back of the parking lot? You can put a garage in the garage?
Yeah, we obtained a grant from
Now, would that
84
be-
Lumber.
We have a storage shed or something back there.
What's
Is
that?
We're talking, is there a storage shed or something?
We have a
back-
3-bay garage back there already,
All right.
and we're putting a 30 by 32 garage. We got a grant obtained from 84 Lumber Yard, and it paid for the whole thing. It was like $100,000.
That's where it's at, back for the other, in the back.
Yeah, way in the back where like the train used to be, if you remember Carnival.
What about Chapel Drive? It's still, Chapel Drive's still in the center of the
They
township.
did ask about that, but we still hold it.
I know that's still a work in progress, but I mean, it's obviously a prime location for the entire township, so.
Right.
I'd say we look at the spectrum, because I think it's more centrally located. I think that the people that are running.
We'll look at all avenues and
Yeah.
I'll work with the other commissioners and we'll come up with something for that. Public versus private student water evaluation process.
I'll go ahead and get this started first for discussion. We have a lot of frustration with our residents that with the stormwater, the flooding in basements and, alibi, withaut the river flooding, with just regular stormwater issues all over the township. I mean, it's been for a long time and many issues. And there's a lot of frustrations with the residents and, I've talked to Brian about it. I've talked with Matt about it. I've talked with Phyllis Nelson about it. And, we kind of agreed that we need to have this discussion with the board to kind of get a process together to figure out what we can do for our residents, whether we look at it and if it's a township issue, then we get involved to fix the issue. If it's a private issue from another property owner that has stormwater going on somebody else's property, whether we get involved to do like a citation process or something to do that, because I think a lot of the frustration is there's no answers. And that's the biggest part of where people get frustrated because, we just need to all be on the same page and have some kind of, whether it's, and I know I talked to Brian about developing a flow chart, like this is where we go, this is what happens, and talked about John about maybe, maybe issuing a citation to the neighboring, because that's where, if somebody goes and says, oh, it's your neighbor, then it ends there, because it maybe it's a legal issue between the neighbors, and I talked to Matt about that, so I think that's the whole, idea for the discussion is to have everybody weigh in and figure out where we go from here and have something, because people are very frustrated with the water. So, Brian, you wanna start?
Yeah, I guess generally that's the idea. My suggestion would be that we maybe implement some type of complaint form that's available there. That way, everybody who talks to somebody, if it's a water system and also a way to cut people off if we can determine right off the bat it's not something that the township should truly be involved in. And I think that it's a lot easier to provide to a resident the explanation that it's not our problem if we show them the evaluation that the township goes through. So I think that generally speaking, the idea would be that, we would come up with some type of form and process, that everybody could direct residents or anybody who has an issue to fill one of these out, and then we'll figure out what steps to evaluate it.
Now, I have a question for you, and I have a question for Matt, I just asked it, but I want the public to be able to hear this. So, like with the Greenwald Farm, that's a no-brainer, it's a busted pipe, we have to fix it. But my question is, if my neighbor, it's like, say, when it doesn't happen to me, but I know it happens to other people. Say my next door neighbor has downspouts, and they direct their downspouts into my yard. So all my neighbor's water is coming into my yard, right into my property. The way to handle it, I would have to go to court, I'd have to hire an attorney, get an injunction, and have a court order my neighbor to stop disposing their water on my property. Is it possible to pass an ordinance to forbid that? That way, instead of having to go to court, hire an attorney, spend all that money, we could just pass an ordinance, send John Stilson over, and just give him a citation, have that be it. Is that possible?
You do have that ordinance.
Yes.
We do.
Yeah, if your stormwater management ordinance states that no resident can direct their stormwater onto another property that causes, damage, harm, or, safety concerns. And if they do, John can issue a citation under the ordinance, they're stipulated penalties.
Okay, so you're saying that we need to get those people informed, have them bring it to us, and then we send them on.
I think it's a form, and I just think it's
There's a lot of confusion with residents do about daylight.
the ordinance should state where you were able to daylight. But we can look into that.
Because Jim Jones, he has 3 neighbors above him that are shooting their downspouts in his yard.
He's not the only one.
You have three downspouts going into your yard, isn't that right? Yeah. So that, they're violating the ordinance, is that right? Yeah.
We only violate when it creates a hazard. Or, is that right, John? If we see fit that it creates a hazard, then it's violating the ordinance.
It's somewhat open to interpret. I mean, is it causing, damage? Is it,
I always thought the
a
ordinance was-
nuisance? I mean, or is it just, surface water flowing that way? And a lot of the complaints we've been getting this year, I wish I had an exact number, but I don't. I mean, it's really up there. But a lot of people are complaining, like Brian was saying, if we can come up with a process where we can eliminate, we look and say, okay, it is your stormwater or whatever, but we're getting a lot of complaints and a lot of people don't understand that we haven't had some of the rains that we've had this year, and you're gonna get more than normal just for the rain and the water running across your neighbor's lawn, especially if they're elevated,
But if, that simplifies it, but if we have, if the downspouts are illegal, if the downspouts are illegal, then we ought to enforce it. If they're not illegal, then there's nothing we can do.
Yeah, see, I don't.
Chief, we had an interesting, and I know all about it, they went to you today. Now, they need to know that was really something, you agree?
Well, I think all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody disconnected their downspouts when they put in
The flexible one, they directed it.
yeah, and put over
driveway.
the neighbor's fence to run it in their driveway.
Yeah, so if he repaired that, we told him, call us, you can't do that.
Yeah,
And I mean, most of the time we deal with it when people wreck these swimming pools, they run it to somebody's property line, they can't do it.
other way.
See, now you handle it the right way, you want them to go, they gotta stop. What I don't wanna see happen is have the township spend $500,000 a year putting French drains around private property all over the place and catch basins and everything else. It should be between one neighbor and another. And I don't think we should even be,
And Andrew, I agree, but we need to enforce that because there's so
Yeah.
much of a gray area, and I think that's where the disconnect is.
It is or it isn't.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and what I will say, we could sit here all night and not cover every single scenario. But stepping back to the one that was brought up,
yeah.
you're correct. And when that all started, we did say technically those people are violating the ordinance by discharging down on the other properties. But at that time, the rationale was that the prior sewer authority required them to remove their downspouts and didn't inspect where they removed them to. And because there were multiple properties involved, the township elected to do a stormwater collection system to solve the issue rather than making those private property owners, essentially, they would have had to have either got private easements to tie into the system or pump back up the sky because they all sit up high and there's nowhere else to take it. So there was a lot more, once again, there's so many different scenarios, but for that particular one, the original conversation was, yes, they shouldn't be having their downspout water go down underneath.
Because I don't wanna be doing this every month, like every month, like every thing, when we catch it. And this, Jim Jones, we put one on his property and he says it doesn't work.
Let me tell you something about them downspouts. We all this problem arrived years ago, when we put dye tests in. Then you found out when they hell was putting the water into the sewer system. But we ain't worried about the water in the sewer system. Now, this one's down Jim Jones' property, Tom Trucking property, we'll do it that way there. That'll be an easier way around. Bull crap. The thing's up to stop now. There's 4 houses on Dennis Street that have black mold in the house. I don't know if you people were out there.
And you gotta speak up.
If you go and have black mold in your house, you have a big, big problem. There are 3 houses that have black mold in them right now. And that gentleman over here from, he lives over there, and, he had to throw a lot of good stuff away out of his house recently. That is a bunch of crap. It's gotta come to a halt. I don't care, it's illegal. It's not only illegal in Elizabeth Township, it's illegal, period, to dump your, downspout in somewhere else. Period, check that out, without a statement or whatever. County.
Ron, you want to speak? Something you want to add?
Well, I think that, the direction now, as long as the board is okay with it, I think the first step would be that I work with John, with Jay, Joel, and possibly Matt, just to come up with a format that we move forward with that's standard for everybody.
Right. I can answer that. We all, okay, right?
I
Yeah.
know that.
Okay, one thing on that.
Good.
And I know we get water complaints and he gets water complaints, but I did call that person, told me how well they were treated today by you. Very well.
Brian, was that ordinance been updated?
Actually, the, stormwater management ordinance is in the, process of being updated right now under Act 167. Yeah. So there, and that'll also be, there's a template ordinance that there are certain things that the township has to adopt, but of course you can add to it. So if that process is part of that, we can always add it in now with the Act 167 or later.
Okay, thank you. Okay, ordinance, motion to approve ordinance vacating a street known as Park Avenue and Underwood Avenue.
So moved.
Question on the motion?
Is that in the public hearing?
I don't believe so, because this is more than 21 years old, so this is actually just going in its form as we've always done.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong?
Yes.
Commissioner Clismo?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes.
This is really not under, I guess it's sort of under ordinances, but I just want to do a matter of housekeeping. It's not adding anything to the agenda, but I would ask the board to approve a motion to ratify the sending of the oil and gas ordinance to the planning commission. At last month's meeting, we did decline to send it to the county. You guys have discussed me sending that to planning, but we never actually did a formal motion on it, so I am sending that to planning, intending to have them talk about it in October, but I would like to have at least a formal motion to ratify that action.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong?
Yes.
Commissioner Clismo?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roberts?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Items for consideration. Motion to approve the general fund bond warrant dated October 1st, 2018, amount of $160,526.16. Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisbech?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to approve the sanitary fund bill warrant dated October 1st, 2018, amount of $142,302.87.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisbech?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to approve the sanitary one rec number 63, amount of $10,437.50.
I have a question. Where's that being used?
They did it, once you get a motion and second, then.
Okay.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Question on the motion?
I'll back, okay.
Question, yeah.
Now, what's the being used for?
Report out, it is, the majority of that should be for continued, design on a project. And then also, I believe, last month, one building item for the semi-annual, report that is due under the, yeah, consent order.
We're not finished with design yet?
No,
I've been doing this for 2 years.
Not been ready, we were ready to submit for part two permits, when, almost a year ago. But that was not bid ready documents, and we're just still finalizing everything, even though we haven't heard.
Have we heard from DEP yet?
Nothing.
Have you tried to call?
I have not reached out recently since our last meeting. They told us that they would be, handling it, would be in touch. Obviously, if you guys want to force the issue, we can.
Yeah, I think you should reach out to enforce the issues. I'm already gonna get this project moved up.
Yeah.
Get it done.
Yeah,
We're gonna be finished, we need one on your.
Yeah.
There's no work. How would they approve something that's not, a design that's not finished?
Just to answer that, the part two permitting that's required under the consent order is not, you don't have to have everything 100% done for that submission. They just need a general idea of the concepts and the process. There's certain requirements of what needs to be in there and what doesn't, but the detail that's in that is not enough to send out for contractors to bid on and construct.
All right, my next question is, how much, and I would appreciate the answer tonight, but if you guarantee me that you'll come up with an answer. How much have we spent so far for design? Because this isn't very done.
Yeah, I can absolutely give you that number. Are you looking for just, KLH since we restarted?
Yes, yeah, sure.
Did you ever submit the permit for Omega Road?
For what?
Omega Road for the bike trail?
No, we have not submitted.
All right, I'll vote yes.
Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisbech?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to approve pay application number 1 from Alex and Paris Contracting, an amount of $210,886.80. Work completed on the 2018 building resurfacing program.
So moved.
Seconded.
I have a question. Have they paid yet? You know, where have they paid? Is that one up and down Constitution? They haven't paid.
They started that one.
That price doesn't include just.
Yeah, all the summer long. We were getting out of.
Okay, yeah, I understand. No, I remember. Right.
This is the work they've done so far, right, Jake?
Is that right? Okay, all right. Yeah, good.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisbech?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to approve quote from the Pittsburgh Bronze Company amount of $1,500 to replace blinds in the Commissioners Hall Conference Room.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Fisbech?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckowitz?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Robert?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to approve quote provided by Penlight amount of $9,456.25 for for installation on the guide road 2318 Ridge Road.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzma?
I'll vote yes, and I just want to add that a long time ago, we looked at putting a guide rail in Jamesworth, and we need to move forward with that. We can do that in the next meeting.
We'll have that on the next agenda.
All right, I'll do it.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roderick?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes.
All in favor?
Motion to approve the emergency operations plans as submitted by emergency management.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Motion ratify phone quote taken on 9/18/18, approving quote provided by Butler Construction in the amount of $86,800 for emergency repair on Market Street.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion?
Just discussion, just for public, information. When the flood happened, a big piece of Margaret Street got washed away. And, I mean, as most of you guys know, we've had issues with Forest Hills. And that road is closed, and it's a pretty expensive project for us to take care of. I mean, probably about close to $500,000 project. But Margaret Street, we're responsible for Margaret Street for about a quarter mile, then it turns into Westmoreland County. And Cole Hollow, we have no control or no authorization, but it's the only way in and out of Smithdale. So since this piece of the street was missing after the flooding, I looked at it, Commissioner Evans, President Evans went down and looked at it, Brian looked at it, John was involved. And the reason why this got done and it was approved, because since we were under a state of emergency, and if we would have had another rain or another flood that came through, it could have basically washed the whole entire road out and trapped kind of everybody there. And I mean, that's been our stance from the beginning, like, if something would happen on Cole Hollow that's out of our control, we would have to fix Forest Hill, so we wouldn't leave people trapped in there. So that was the reason I reached out to Brian. I had told Brian, I said, hey, if you've got a contractor you can think of, have them look at it, send us the price, and we'll kind of get it done. And that's kind of where it was. But the reason why this was done on emergency repair, because it was flood related, and it was something we couldn't wait to get it for the bid process and through that, and we were allowed, if Matt wants to expand on that, but it was something that since we were under state of emergency, we were allowed to do it as an emergency repair. Anybody have any questions?
We were able to reapply for these, get reimbursed for fees.
Yeah, for
It takes
FEMA,
some
for
time.
FEMA and FEMA, yes, and this is actually part of this, and there's a good chance we can get reimbursed for this, yes.
You know when they're starting?
What's that?
When they're gonna start construction?
I talked to Mike Blatchak actually today, he's supposed to let me know in the next couple of days.
Someone get on it yesterday. Because we're gonna have them right here tomorrow, so just make sure you put that on this list. Roll call vote.
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzma?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roderick?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to disperse the 2018 volunteer fire relief associate allocation of $58,751.68 equally to the 5 volunteer fire companies in Elizabeth Township.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote.
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzma?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roderick?
Yes.
President Evans?
I abstain because I serve as the fire chief of the Bladenville Volunteer Fire Company. Number 10, motion to purchase playground equipment through Game Time for Wydell and Stony Brook in the amount of $56,170.78. Accept the grant award amount of $45,061.50.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote. Originally, we were gonna spend $75,000 on this project, but Joel got the grant for us, so we actually saved some money on that, so kudos there for
Commissioner
looking out
Simula?
for us.
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Walk?
Yes.
Commissioner Kuzma?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckwith?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Roderick?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to accept Pennsylvania State Clean Diesel Grant for DEP in amount of $38,700 $639.50 to go towards the purchase of a new case wheel loader. And that's another grant that Joe was able to get to purchase a truck. Purchase a vehicle that was 21 years old, Jake. The loader was needed. We put on money in that vehicle, so now it's gonna get replaced. So thank for her getting that grant and moving us forward.
So moved.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong?
Yes.
Commissioner Kisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes. Motion to apply the 2018 municipal pension state aid to the following plans in accordance with the 2018 MMO.
So moved.
Second.
Question on the motion? Roll call vote?
Commissioner Simula?
Yes.
Commissioner Wong?
Yes.
Commissioner Kisner?
Yes.
Commissioner Beckles?
Yes.
Commissioner Blake?
Yes.
Commissioner Rogers?
Yes.
President Evans?
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, let me say one thing. We're probably the only municipality in Pennsylvania that has always been up to date on this page, required by law. One just then sell something to get more than $9 million.
Because of wood planning and right thing.
That's not quite true.
All right, citizens address non-items. First one, we Dawn Greenwald, 4441 Walk Run Road.
I was just wondering, from the August agenda, it was put out for bid about fixing that sewage problem that I'm having, and they haven't heard anything, so I was just wondering where we're at with that.
To clarify, are we talking about the storm water?
Yes, the
Project.
project right across the
Stormwater
street.
sewage in my house, so.
The project that was authorized was to upsize the storm sewer going under, from the farm over to Rock Run. It was authorized to bid, but there's a design process. We have had our surveyors out there, and we're currently doing the design drawings, so that they can go out to bid. We anticipate in the next couple of weeks, all that will be ready to go out to bid, and there's several weeks that we have to get pricing, and then after that point, there's construction.
Like December.
Yeah, that's why when you get into the bid process, it takes a while.
But it is moving forward, so we're.
Because I haven't seen anything on the agenda, so.
We're working.
All right.
Russell Urbanic?
Russell Urbanic, 225 High Street. November 20th of last year, 2017, Nick Tabashnik was authorized to look into sanitary authority matters. And I was wondering if he has produced a report yet on that investigation.
Not at this time, the investigation is still pending.
We're gonna be meeting with them next week, so.
So when will we get a report?
Can't comment on that at this time. We don't know. We're gonna be meeting with him soon.
When will the statute of limitations be up?
Again, I'm not handling the matter, Nick Tabashnik is, you have to ask Nick.
Well, could somebody find out when the statute of limitations are up so that we can get a report?
We're meeting with him next week.
It hasn't been up, I know that.
Okay, so maybe at the next meeting we'll have some information on when this report is gonna come out?
We don't have to get, we're meeting with him next week, so yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Once
We're
we
trying
get
to, I
the
promise you, we're trying to along, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Scott Taylor?
Good evening, everybody. Scott Taylor, 304 Mohawk Drive. Coming in front of you with about the oil and gas, everything that's been going on in the township here recently. As you're aware, Huntley has been given the requested conditional use permit with a list of 30 conditions, plus actually, to construct their Apollo B well site. Since that approval, Huntley has submitted notice to the township and the DEP for modifications to the Apollo B to Dominion pipeline and 4 additional wells to be drilled on that site. Out of curiosity, how many commissioners knew of any of these changes? You should. Are there any conflicts with the current ordinances or conditions as approved? That you don't know the answer to that one either. The Apollo B site permit concerns to date. The township has requirement of 24-hour air monitoring. That was part of the condition. I don't remember if it was one of your conditions or the ordinance or both. Huntley actually submitted a proposal to the township on May of 2018. The township has yet to respond to that notification to the township. They obviously want to do the right thing. Why aren't we responding to them? The township has not responded to this, I'm sorry. This township has no notification system for reporting concerns or violations to the public. This is your responsibility to police this activity, all of it. That was very clear because Joanne actually asked that question during the hearing, who's responsible, and they said, you guys. Eric and Kristen Ash wrote a letter to all the commissioners and the solicitor, zoning officer, and as well Huntley addressing this issue on September 3rd, 2018. To date, 0 response. That was as of 2 o'clock this afternoon, I confirmed with Eric Ash. This township has received applications for conditional use for their second site in the township, the Plutus Pad. This township appears to be responding in knee-jerk fashion for ordinance revisions that took over a year of discussion and planning. Why? It took us a year in planning to get the 8 revisions to this Board of Commissioners. Now all of a sudden there's a brand new set of revisions going back within a month.
20 seconds.
Sorry. Huntley's attempting to lease property designated for public recreation anticipated and use is not permitted where it's planned, both the pump station and the impoundment. Why are we rushing it to enter into binding agreements? I'm going to cut the end of this off because I'm running out of time. We know this board chair has established a no motions from the floor taken. I respectfully request one of these commissioners put forth a motion for resolution for a temporary moratorium of some type to slow this down. Just slow it down. Let's get our ordinances right. Let's figure out what the deal is with the deed for that property down in Blydale. There's no reason to rush into this. We're not even policing what they're doing at the Apollo B site right now. I mean, we've been through how many months of what this board can and can't do. It took us all summer to get Dollar General to cut their grass.
You're at 3.5 minutes. I will respond to some of the things that you addressed here. Just because I want the board to have clarity on what's happening, because you've thrown a lot at them. Sure. As far as the additional well sites, obviously those will go through a new conditional use application procedure. So there will be public hearings on those. Those will be submitted. I believe they may have already been submitted actually.
Two out of the 4, and where's the pipeline?
Well, I'm just saying, all of that will go through the same process. So again, whether this board knows that or not, that's the way our ordinance is structured, that's the way Hex will have to go through the process. So again, it's not as if these are just gonna magically appear. They'll go through the process, you'll have the commentators comment as will the rest of the public. So, that's on that issue. As far as the complaints with the monitoring, I did have a conversation with Hex, and they do intend to do the monitoring. Right now, as far as I know, they were only doing, they're preparing the site. There's no activity going on up there.
They're moving dirt. That's
Yeah, they're doing earth moving up there, so
that's correct.
But they do intend to do that.
That's putting dust in the air, fugitive airborne.
So, but they will do that.
They should be doing it now.
I don't know what else you want. As far as the moratorium, I think you made that request in the past, and I do think that I don't have it with me because I didn't know you were going to make the request again, but I think I
I told you, there is a case out there that says you can't put a temporary moratorium on your zoning. You either have zoning or you don't. So if they wanted to, if they wanna like change it as far as where they wanna go, they can go through that process certainly and do that. But you can't just, I don't believe the courts allow you just to say, we're gonna stop right here and just put it on hold. I don't believe we have the legal ability to do that. So,
I believe you do.
okay.
You have the power.
Did I supply you with the case the last
I
time?
believe you did, yes,
Okay,
sir.
so that's-
And in reviewing that case,
Yeah.
the Helm something.
Yeah, I don't have it with me. Again, I didn't know you were gonna make the request or else I would have.
You have this board has every bit the right to say no
What
to
was the-
everything,
What was the
period.
difference between that and this?
Off the top of my head,
Yeah.
we talked about it about 6 months ago.
I'm just saying, if they wanted to change it to be industrially zoned, they can go through the process and do that. I'm not saying that's up to this board as to how they wanna deal with it. But I'm just saying, I don't believe that legally, I think that case is a problem. If you wanna call me, we can certainly have a discussion about like, is there a difference or not? And if they do have the power, they have that power. But I'm just saying, that's my understanding. I'm glad I gave you the case, because I know they made that request in the past.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To follow up on one of them, I've brought it up many times. You guys are only obligated for reasonable access. You've given it to them already. This one well pad, as I explained to Mr. Walk and Kuzma at the last meeting, the current wells on that one well site will gain them access to over 80% of this township. I don't know how much more reasonable you
I
can
gave you
get.
that much time to respond to some of that, so just trying to.
Okay,
figure it out.
since-
You have the power.
I just have one thing, since we sent that ordinance to planning again, have they received all the information that he has given us so that they can review?
No, but he typically comes to planning and supplies everything to them as far as I'm,
Okay.
I mean, Scott is always there, they trust
I
me.
think they should have it ahead of
Yeah,
time,
he-
so
he-
they have a chance to look
I
at it.
got it.
Yeah, and I can certainly do that, but I'm just saying, I don't mean to step on your toes, but I'm saying you're always there, you always do supplies.
I just think this board needs to slow down, because we're not policing what we already gave them, and I don't think we need to be getting into more right now. I'll take timeout, even. I'm not saying to stop it indefinitely, take a timeout. Get everything right.
Thank you. Sandy Kirkman.
Sam Kirkman, High Street. One thing I wanna ask for you, Dave, if you can have your guys, not constantly, just periodically, the on-street parking in Howland's getting terrible. And it's, we're gonna be changing time now, kids are gonna be out the door, it's been a problem for a long time, I don't know why it's getting worse for this. And now, we've got the buses running in the morning, the garbage men are coming through. Usually the garbage men come out with the buses, but it's just a concern of a bunch of us. Okay, thanks. Second question for you again. We, and I'm speaking for Judy, Lori, Jessica, they're not here because of work. We thought we had an agreement that the PD would post again the dog pictures. Well,
We are.
we just had 5 dogs, never got a picture.
Okay, I know there was 2, we took pictures of 2 children Friday morning. We got.
We did not see it on the PD site.
Here's the issue I'm having right now, then.
That's what that's what I'm here for. I want
We
to-
have been, you agree, we have been posted.
Not the last 5.
Okay.
That we know of, the last 5. And I know where they were.
I had one person drop Facebook, one officer, who can't be an administrator. Another administrator's off injured, okay? Another was away, out of town on the way. So the 3 of my administrators were out, and Dale was off. So this child didn't get posted because of that. I'm in the process of another officer volunteered, become an administrator so we can have someone else posted there.
That's what one of our questions was, like when they're out in the patrol cars, like one dog was in the morning, the other 2, one was at 5:30, the other one was at 7:30 the other morning. When the officers on duty, I'm gonna say, is there like, do they use their personal phones to post on the PD site? Or is there the computer thing on the front seat, or
What
like,
officers
how
do?
does it work?
They take a picture of the dog, usually using a department phone, put on a computer, to upload it, so they put on, if their administrator is the person doing it. If not, they email it to one of the Facebook administrators, who then posts it to our Facebook.
So you're
So
saying,
administrator available doesn't get posted right away.
you mean like the Elizabeth Township Police Department administrator?
No, for the Facebook. To be an administrator on Facebook, you have to have Facebook yourself. Okay? Be signed up for it. Then you can be added to our Facebook as an administrator.
See, we just thought the cops did.
They do, that's your government.
Like, I'm not getting an administrator.
I have officers that have administrative rights for our Facebook. Okay?
So
Unfortunately, what slowed down the process is I have one injured, one quit Facebook. He doesn't want nothing to do, he can't be an administrator anymore. The other one was out of town at a wedding, and the other one was off. And I do not have Facebook, and I am not, can't be an administrator.
So we'll make sure that it gets posted. He's working on it, and it will, I
I'm
mean,
gonna add
we've been
another
pretty
one.
good. There was a few that were missed. The guys do get busy over there, but we are gonna,
It's possible some,
Well, what happened the other morning, I was actually a little bit aggravated at the PD, just in general. And I know you guys are busy, you have a lot more going on in Lost Dogs. But, over there at White House, one was picked up 5:30 Saturday Friday morning, one was picked up 7:30. I got the message at 8:15. I went over Dorothy and Jim's farm for 2.5 hours in mud, in thick brush, with boots on, thinking that little white thing was choking on because it had a leash.
one dog they got at 5 AM, he was in our garage. The other one they got around 7, go after 7, the shift changed. When I got to work, they picked him. Officers picked him up, the officer took pictures right in front of him, emailed it off to the administrator, honestly, because he was away out of town.
Yes.
Not obligated to do anything.
Right, we thought the news just brought on their phone and put it up. That's all.
I only have certain officers for a reason to be administrators on our Facebook. I can't just give every officer that privilege.
Okay, my first thing quickly, what's
You're
wrong?
over 3 minutes, Sam.
Good, what's wrong with the blinds? They're nice. I got the same color in my house. Just asking, I think they're nice.
They're about 30 years old.
yeah, they're 30 years old. We're just trying to update.
They
these
look
around.
good for 30 or so.
Yeah, the ones in the back are fresh. We're just trying to update these here, that's all.
Oh, it's okay, I just think they're pretty looking.
Carol Daly,
At the last meeting, I was told I was able to give a 20-minute presentation about the Sunshine Act, the Pennsylvania Municipal Code, and an entity being called Invenergy. And I was to coordinate it with the office manager. But unfortunately, I was told I was not able to do that, so I declined. I want this on the record and in the minutes. 2.5 years ago, Invenergy LLC was reorganized. Each division became a subsidiary and filed a certificate of formation as a limited liability company, otherwise known as LLC. Each LLC is headed by a vice president. The entity name of Invenergy LLC is known as its registered name as Invenergy Investment Company LLC. The entity name Invenergy Service LLC has a registered agent name of Invenergy LLC. The proposals submitted are under the subsidiary Invenergy Thermal Development LLC, and the entity proposals to the grid is under Invenergy Energy Management LLC. Invenergy Development LLC signs the land options agreements. Here there is Allegheny Energy Center LLC, also known as AEC, which is the subsidiary that would actually be the subject of the proposal. Attorney Siddig was hired by Invenergy LLC to file an appeal for the 2016 zoning board denial. He is aware of the legal name and address of Invenergy LLC and Allegheny Energy Center LLC, otherwise known as AEC. However, since then, Attorney Siddig has used the name Invenergy with absolutely no reference to its legal name. So not only do we not have a legal name, but there is also no written record of any such proposal. Nothing on the website. No planning commission minutes since March of 2017. Which, by the way, how do the members receive a stipend if there is no record of them ever being present or attending a meeting. In April 2017 was the first attempt city tried to rezone the Triple C recycling parcels. This attempt was not conducted according to PA Municipal Code. The June 2018 attempt also has no written documentation. There is absolutely no mention of Invenergy in the Planning Commission agenda and no agenda for their special meeting. So I want to know before I continue, who was here? Which entity is CITIC representing? There is no written documentation. There is no proof that there is an entity called Invenergy was ever here. Yet it demanded time, delaying hearings for other ordinances, including the solar ordinances, the oil and gas and pipeline ordinances. The property can never be rezoned as an M1 as it does not meet the criteria. There will be no LNG power plant. You can't build it there as it is in the tertiary zone for the Ross Draver Airport, and Ross Draver knows that. The so-called procedure was non-compliant. The property is non-compliant with R1 ordinances, and yet you have done nothing to resolve the problem. This was a deceptive attempt to rezone the parcels. The entity Invenergy does not exist. You pitted resident against resident. You alarmed the residents of Smithdale, Sutersville, and West Newton. You deceived the union.
Carol, you're at 3 minutes.
You deceived the union into thinking a car plant was being built here. You deceived over 6,000 families. You deceived our small business owners. You broke the Sunshine Act with emails between commissioner members by not posting minutes. You do not follow the PA Municipal Code pertaining to submitting ordinances and text amendments. You continue to allow abandoned equipment and trailers and vehicles to remain on R1 parcels. You gave them an illegal junkyard permit.
You guys did everybody in 3 minutes. Please, have the decency.
I was allowed to speak for 20 minutes. I was given that permission.
You're not allowed to speak for 20 minutes. If you were allowed to make the request to have time.
All right, then who was here?
granted.
Who was here? Which Invenergy was here?
Okay.
Which one of those was here?
I don't even know what I really don't even know what the question was.
You're right, you don't know because you didn't ask. Which Invenergy LLC was sitting here representing?
Allegheny, because my understanding it was the application.
No, the application, there is no application. There's a text amendment. It's under Invenergy and that's it.
All right, thanks, Carol.
Carol, I just want to say something to you.
I want the DA called on this.
Darren, you're my buddy.
No, you're not my buddy. I'm not your buddy.
Well, you don't have to be mine, but I'm yours. But I hear what you brought up was about the planning commission meeting minutes of the posted online. I'm sure you're familiar with this. At the beginning of the year, we had some turnover in office staff, and the minutes went by the wayside. I can guarantee you, I promise you, because one of the employees is sitting right here, we're working on getting them done, and we're gonna get them posted. Okay?
No, it is.
Well, if you're not okay with that, that's tough.
Don't you understand? This was all fraud. This was fraudulent.
By who?
I don't know. You tell me. Who is
You're making the
Invenergy?
allegation, Carol. I don't know what I don't even know what you're alleging is fraudulent. What is fraudulent? I don't understand what you're
Who is
alleging.
Invenergy?
Pardon me?
Who is Invenergy?
I told you, Allegheny, they filed the application as Allegheny Energy LLC. As
In
far as I'm concerned. And their
2016
appeal
they
was
did
filed,
that.
yeah, by Allegheny Energy.
In 2016. Who filed it in 2017? Who filed it in 2018? And why didn't Invenergy sue them? Because
It was the same.
it didn't happen.
All right.
Next one is Debbie Sore.
Hi, I'm Debbie Sorg, I live on Dennis Street in the Howell Plan, and I was just wondering, this is for you, John, are you the one that's supposed to come check behind my property?
We played contact a little bit.
Yeah, I had to with the grandson.
Yeah, I did speak to Jim about it,
Yeah.
and we did have Joe go take a look.
Oh,
If
good.
we're talking, it's the same pipes you're referring to, right? Right. Okay, it is the same pipe.
I'm actually, my foundation's actually cracked, my son-in-law noticed it got worse.
Yeah.
It's because I've been getting so much more water.
Yeah, when I talked to you, was it Wednesday? I went in here the last part of last week, but you're not always home during the day.
Yeah.
So, you know, I know we played phone tag.
I'm retired, but I'm over there.
Yeah, but he did explain to me which ones those were, so we knew that they're the same ones that he's having the issue with. And we are looking into, we are looking into that one, yes, that's the one Brian did, that's the one Brian addressed earlier, yes.
Thank you. Thanks.
There's no other business before, motion adjourned.
Second.
All in favor? Ayes have it.